Gary Owens and Lauren LaRosa are currently beefing. They are currently at odds. Now, this beef is probably the most unexpected beef, because I expected this beef to happen 4 months ago after Gary Owens' interview. Not today, but nonetheless, we have to cover it. On his podcast today, Gary crashed out on Lauren LaRosa. He pretty much expressed how he don't appreciate certain things she have said or done as of lately. But honestly, he only spent like 30 seconds on what she had done recently, and he spent like the entire podcast talking about their interview from 4 months ago. Me just being a wise human being, all right? I know that if you spent the entire podcast talking about the interview from 4 months ago and not the recent stuff you claim you're mad at, then you're probably upset more about the interview that she conducted with you 4 months ago. So before we can even talk about the new beef or what's currently going on, let's back up a little bit and just talk about their particular interview that Gary Owens did on the Breakfast Club. That was the time that Lauren LaRosa was filling in for Jess Hilarious, and it was Charlamagne the God Envy of Lauren LaRosa that interviewed Gary Owens. Now, Lauren LaRosa and Gary Owens had some very awkward like back and forths during this interview, but watching it, I would think it was all fun and games. I didn't know it was like really contentious until Gary would express it today. Lauren LaRosa was actively looking up gotcha questions for Gary Owens like mid-interview. Like she really wanted to get this dude, man. But I feel like it's one of her first interviews on the Breakfast Club. She probably wanted to leave a lasting impression. So at the time, she was damn near still auditioning for the job. So I really can't blame her. But the comment section, though, was kind of like not feeling it though, right? Because people felt like she was giving Gary weird energy throughout the entire interview, and it's really hard for me to showcase the weird energy because we can't really play the video of the Breakfast Club. We can only play the audio. But people will say, "Lauren, girl, chill. We came here for laughs, and you killing the vibe, sis." Uh, like just gotta thank Gary Owens for turning the comment section back toward her side, because people were pro Lauren until this interview. They was started to get annoyed by her. People will say, "I'm sorry, but I absolutely disagree with Lauren. We don't have to accept toxic behavior from our parents. That's ridiculous. Lauren is acting mad weird towards Gary. I guess she feels he did a black woman wrong, so she has to treat him bad. She needs to grow up." So yeah, that was the general consensus, bro. They felt like Lauren was giving him weird energy. I'm gonna try my best to sort of showcase like the tension between Gary and Lauren without being able to play the video, but here's a couple of snippets from the interview where they went back and forth.
The argument was that the relationship with her wasn't after the divorce.
After the divorce?
Y'all doing the Gary thing.
That's up for debate.
You took us out there. You took us out there. I just wanted to. Okay. All right. Here we go.
When's Jess coming back? To the airport, and I was like, "Oh my God, I just got upgraded." I was like, "What are we doing?" And she was like, "What do you mean?" I go, "Can I sit in the front?" Because I think the flight was only like an hour and a half. I just remember she looked at me. She was like, "Take your ass to the front. See what the happens." So I was like this. Guess I'm sitting in the back. And then
she just had to go to the back.
Hmm?
You wasn't gonna go back there with her.
I just asked. I sat in the back with her. I sat in the back.
That is horrible. Y'all would do that?
What?
Charlamagne and Envy, would you guys leave your wives and coach and go to first class?
We'll leave them in coach and go to first class.
The way she said left them, like
Lauren will also get backlash when Gary told a story about how his father has been extremely toxic in his life. His father has done things that is just damn right harmful and dangerous to him, so he chooses to stay away from his father. Lauren will critique him and criticize him for that, and she would also say that his kids done said bad things about him.
You get one father.
Huh?
You get one father.
Right.
My grandmother has always raised me. I understand where you're coming from, but you get one father.
So what would you do,
Lauren?
Let me ask you this, Lauren. These black grandparents, they know everything. Clearly, because that's what I learned about black people just now. They know everything.
They Bible thumpers, and they raise you heavy on that.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways.
If you're asking me, I think this is like a consequence of Lauren LaRosa was coming in trying to do an interview where, she wants the clips. She wants to get clips from the interview. Charlamagne the God and DJ Envy has interviewed Gary Owens countless of times, so they probably were just coming in trying to joke. So if Lauren LaRosa is trying to conduct like, a TMZ-esque interview and Charlamagne the God is just trying to kick it with his homie, the agendas is gonna clash. So I don't think Lauren LaRosa necessarily did anything wrong per se. I just feel like Both parties came in with different ideas for the interview, and the interview styles just clashed. Gary, though, took real issue with what happened, and he even said he doesn't think that Lauren LaRosa liked him. But he never said anything about it. He never spoke on it until today. And he spoke on it today because he was really pissed off at Lauren LaRosa for what he would say is sneak dissing or throwing shots at him during the Andrew Schultz Breakfast Club interview. He believed that Lauren LaRosa said something during the interview that was highly disrespectful and undermining him.
I was listening to the Breakfast Club, and they had Andrew Schultz on, whose new specials on Netflix. And I love Andrew, but they brought up the Kendrick Lamar thing, and I'm listening to it, and Charlemagne is and Andrew, they're having fun with it. They're going back and forth, and all of a sudden, the girl that fills in for Jess Hilarious, that was there when I was there a few months ago, they said, Kendrick has never really said who he's talking about. And we assume it's Andrew Schultz, but we don't know. We're just assuming. So Andrew's like, how do we even know Kendrick was talking about me? I go, and Andrew was like, Kendrick's fans were really coming at him, like threatening him, his family and stuff like that. So he goes, so when he did that, and when Kendrick said, run up on your ops, something along them lines, Andrew was like, in his mind, Kendrick gave the okay to run up on Andrew and his family. And so Andrew's like, all right, if you want to play that game, I'm gonna come at you. I'm gonna say you short. I'm gonna say I could violate you in prison if it was just us two, things like that. Joking, but little probably he's pushing back, basically. Like, you're not gonna threaten me and think I'm just gonna sit here and take it. So they're having this back and forth with Andrew, Charlemagne, Envy, and the girl that's filling in for Jess Hilarious. And now Envy, Charlemagne, and Schultz is like, we don't even know who Kendrick was talking about. He could have been talking about Gary Owen. And literally, their girl goes, ain't nobody checking for Gary Owen. And I was like, I tell you, this girl.
Yeah, Gary being sensitive, bro. Like, I'm a Gary Owens fan. Like, I think Gary Owens is fantastic. But you being sensitive, bro. You's a comedian. You make jokes for a living. You talk about everybody in their situation when you do stand up. So her saying ain't nobody checking for Gary Owens in like a slick manner, that got you upset. Like that's what you're doing a YouTube video about to call her out on. Like, that's crazy, bro. A 3-second statement on you during what like a 3-hour podcast.
Okay,
How we know he wasn't talking about Gary Owens? That's
a
other
good
thing.
point.
First of all, ain't nobody.
We don't know.
That's a good point.
To me, Gary, you being sensitive, bro. Now, if she would have disrespected you and said Gary Owens ain't ish, he ain't funny, Gary Owens is a culture vulture, all type of. If she would have went that far, cool. But you are upset about that. Now, being upset about it, I guess somebody saying nobody checking for you could be seen as he's not popping. Like, I can see being kind of annoyed and passionate about it, but being so upset you're making a YouTube video about it is kind of crazy. And you're a comedian, bro. You need to grow like stronger skin. And also, I think it's kind of bad for you to really acknowledge that this pissed you off and it upsets you. Because as a comedian, like, people not knowing your pressure points or what gets you upset or what ticks you off, that's your superpower. Once people know exactly what ticks you off, once people know exactly what makes you upset, then you're vulnerable now. You're wide open. Now, them hecklers can come to that show knowing exactly how to trigger you and how to push your buttons. I wouldn't have revealed my superpowers, bruh. Now, Gary Owens will continue and say that he just feels like she just don't like him, that she dislikes him, and she has nothing good to say about him ever.
I tell you, this girl, I can't remember her name. She, I don't know what her issue with me is, but I'd be like, what? How did I catch a stray? I'm not even there. Ain't nobody checking for Gary Owen. And I'm like, well, I just did 12 shows in Baltimore. Somebody checking for me. I'm sold out in Nashville this weekend. Somebody checking for me. But yeah, she was trying to get on my neck about my divorce. And now I caught a stray with the Kendrick thing again. It's like, you gotta see it though. Like, ain't nobody checking for Gary Owen. And you saw Sean and Andrew go, oh, what do you mean? But it's almost like when you're drunk, like a drunken tongue speaks a sober mind. That's how I felt. Like, oh, her true feelings just came out right there. I caught that. I caught that. I see what's happening here. Like, she really don't like me. Like, I might go on the Breakfast Club and she might gloss over it, but deep down, she don't like me.
I think it's a reach gathering that from that 4 second clip, or even like during like the interview. I don't feel like enough was done or said to where you could really come to a conclusion of she don't like me, she hates me, nothing good to say about me. That's kind of reaching, and you kind of comes across as sensitive. Now, Lauren LaRosa will respond back to this, and she responded back on Twitter. And here's what she has to say about Gary Owens, I guess, going off on her.
Think that it's, you know, I, I I was gonna say I think it's very like shocking, but it's not, because this happens all the time, and not just with the two men I sit in the room with. So not with Unc Charlemagne, or not with my bro, not with Envy, but anytime I've ever worked with a man, when I was at TMZ, when I was anywhere, what I've always come to find is people really pick and choose who they take issue with about certain things, and normally it's the women in the room, when it's like anybody else could have said that and it wouldn't have been this serious. I also think
Come on, Lauren. Lauren. We like you, Lauren. Lauren. Let's not do this, bro. Lauren, you ask him tough questions. He's sensitive. Let's keep it at that, bro. Let's not get into I'm a woman, so I'm being victimized. That's not the case here, bro, at all. Right? Male podcasters, Charlemagne the God, Adam, Joe, academics, they get attacked and men go at them too. You know why? Because people don't like when you talk about them. It has nothing to do with you being a female, man. And we really like you, Lauren. We don't. Let's not start taking those angles, bro. Right? Because if I have a tap on the Breakfast Club audience as much as I think I know them, like this, like victim angle, I'm a woman, so I'm being attacked angle, even though you were aggressive during the interview, that's not going to bode over well at all,
our first interaction that we had together, I thought we were joking. I thought that it was funny. At that point, I'm leaning in. Your material is about Black women. Like, I'm leaning into exactly what you joke about and laugh about. I didn't think it was that deep, but obviously our first interaction with each other must have rubbed you the wrong way. So come on back, baby. Let's have a conversation. We could talk about it. I'm not going nowhere. I will be there. And yes, when you met me, I was filling in for Jess. Now, I'm the senior news producer with The Breakfast Club, making national news headlines and breaking news. So it's nice to meet you again for the second time here online. And I can't wait to meet you again for the third time when you come on back to The Breakfast Club. I don't have an issue with you, Gary, at all. Like, not at all. So I don't know how you felt about the rest of that clip. And honestly, it probably doesn't matter, because if you really think that my interaction with you, the time when you were on the show and I asked you about your divorce, and, we had that conversation because you had been on a national comedy tour talking about it and talking about it everywhere else. You did Shannon Sharp and talked about it. And there was no issue when you were asked those questions anywhere else. But you took issue when I asked you about it. And we joke,
Overall, I like Lauren LaRosa's response. I think her response was pretty measured, pretty calm. He didn't really, do too much. Some people, and we know who, would have probably, cussed his mama, cussed him out. Lauren LaRosa remained professional, and this is why we love her. That she's somebody where measured, she's professional, she's precise at all times. I just hope, that this here sticks. All right. But shout out to Lauren LaRosa, man. Shout out to Gary Owens. I hope they come together, do another interview, and iron out this mess. But let me know how you feel about Lauren LaRosa's response. Let me know if you feel like Gary Owens is being sensitive, or, if he's telling the truth. All right. Lauren LaRosa was too harsh. Let me know. And if you're still watching, man, click on this video here somewhere on my screen, man, to get some more drama and more news. I'm going to see you guys in this video. Out of here, folks. Peace.